Hello, everyone, and welcome to our class of 2024 guide. We've had a lot of owners over the last while. We've done over 50 feedback calls now, and a big request from all of you was, what horses should I get involved in next year? I think we've said it before, but our big sales period is from now until Christmas, and then, to be honest, just before the Cheltenham Festival. It's kind of when our national hunt horses all sell out, but the run with our flat horses kind of starts from now. We are going to be launching our yearlings this week. And before we did so, I just wanted to spend a little bit of time quickly running through five of them, why we bought them, what was the theory behind it all, and hopefully you are suitably illuminated and maybe encouraged to get stuck into a few of them this year. I'm really excited about them. I don't think we've put together a better team before, and I'm hoping that they do us proud next year. I think there's some real athletes, some beautiful pedigrees, and a tremendous bit of value along the way. So please God, they're as lucky as some of our previous graduates. So to kick on, the first one that we have is a Starspanglebanner filly that we bought at the Book 2 sale in Tattersall's. Starspanglebanner doesn't need much for an introduction. He is the sire of State of Rest, one of the best horse that Tinnickle House, our family farm, has ever bred. So we'd like to think, when we combined with Joseph O'Brien, the man who trained State of Rest, we'd know what a good one looked like. Joseph actually commented to me post this sale. He says, as long as they have that shape and that strength, these are horses that know how to run and are very genuine and willing to gallop. If I was to critique her a little bit, I'd say if we just pass forward, she's a little bit base narrow. You can see here she doesn't have a whole pile but that won't stop her in any sense. She's got the big rounded action, and she's a willing willing filly that really wants to please. I think you can see her here. Here's a photo of her. She's a lovely shaped filly. And I think, being by State of Rest, Starspanglebanner is a great proven sire that we know can deliver for you on the race course. It's an interesting family. She was bred by Ballyhimkin Stud. Ballyhimkin is one of the foremost breeders in Ireland. As I'm sure a lot of our owners have picked up already, it's hugely important to us, the farms that our horses come from. And James Hanley, the owner of Ballyhimkin, said to us that the mother of this, while she wasn't raced Divine Authority, worked like an aeroplane. And as a result, he felt he had to keep her and breed from her for years to come, because he felt there was undiscovered talent to be unearthed in their future progeny. She has had a number of runners to date. You can see that she's had 3 winners, and that's from 3 runners. So she's 100% strike rate so far. And we actually found ourselves bidding against Joseph when we went to buy this filly. It's understandable why Joseph was also bidding on the horse, because here he is, the Iron Horse himself. State of Rest, a 4-time Group 1 winner. We're actually considering naming this filly State of Bliss in honour of State of Rest. He was the only horse in history to have won 3 consecutive Group of Grade 1 races on 3 different continents. Of course, won the Cox Plate. What a wonderful horse. I'd highly recommend having a delve into this great website on Newgate, going into depth. This brilliant video here of his wins, and kind of just what an amazing racehorse he was. He's standing for 44,000 Aussie. So he is a significant stallion down there, and of course a significant stallion in Europe as well, having been very popular with Ratbarry Stud. So look, we're just hoping to tap into a sire line that we know has been successful already. Here is the list of horses by Starspanglebanner, and they speak for themselves. California Spangle, State of Rest, Beauty Eternal, Home of the Brave. I think we're going to be a bit more like a Milisle or a Home of the Brave. I think she's a sprinting type of filly. We think of other fast fillies like Flotus and Altima Alexander, all by the State of Rest sire and Starspanglebanner, but State of Rest was seen to best effect over a mile 2. I think our filly would be one for early action. A comment Joseph said to me, says, look, what's nice about this filly is we'll know fairly quickly. She actually went straight to Joseph to get broken in, and he says, this is a filly that could end up running in April or May. And if she could show up well, who knows? It could be a filly for Royal Ascot in time, much like her brother, a winner of the first £1 million race at the Royal Meeting. So that was our Star-Spangled-Banner filly. I think she's won. For all of these horses, I want to describe what type of owner should buy a share in this horse. I think if you want a horse with Joseph O'Brien, you want early action, you want a proven stallion, and you want the value of knowing Joseph took a share and a shape and athleticism that I think will point you towards being an athlete and being an early athlete. I'd like to think this Star-Spangled-Banner is exactly that. Okay, next up was Study of Man filly. So this is a bit more of an interesting one. Well, sorry, I think the Star-Spangled-Banner was a bit more obvious. This filly is a bit more of a thinking man's filly. A few reasons for that. Study of Man, you can see it. These are absolutely beautiful videos that Chase Moore stud do. Gorgeous action, this filly. Look at her walk. She is just, I could watch that all day. She's by a stallion who has just had his first runners. I actually pulled up the list here. He's only had 2-year-old runners, and one of them being Deep One, who was actually sold at the exact same sale, the Tattersall Book Tree sale. He's a winner of a Grade 2 already, and I'm just struck by there's a lot of horses here with one run, with 1 run, 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, and they're still showing lovely ratings. They were more summer 2-year-olds. If we look at Deep One's profile, he debuted in the early part of the season in May, but not rocket. This filly is not going to be as early as our Star-Spangled-Banner filly, but when she does arrive, she's got a big advantage in that she's GBB eligible. You can see here 100% GBB eligible. What that means is she receives 100% of the GBB bonus, which is 20 grand in every eligible race. We sent her to Ollie Sangster to target that exact bonus prize. You can win multiple ones. In fact, there's been one horse that's won 4 GBB bonuses, so that's £80,000 in prizes. She's out of a filly called mare now, called Strong and Stable. This pedigree does not look deep, right? This is not a typical syndicate stock racing purchase, but what it does have is very interesting ratings, which I think pointed to a bit of value when we bought her. If you see here, Strong and Stable was rated 94, and Agaramoni was a very, very expensive purchase after winning his maiden, allegedly almost €1 million. So this is a talented family that perhaps hasn't had the chance to get it on the scoreboard yet. You can see her dam won 52 grand in prize money, for example. This is the second possible foal to race. There's already Le Havre. Le Havres are usually big horses, so they take a little bit of time. And it came from a top-class breeder again in Chase Moore. Chase Moore, owner breeders of countless top horses, and they have wonderful transparency. There's a slight physical flaw in this filly, and I just want to show you, if I can, the front. Can I see the front? So she's quite a large splint, which just here, I hope you can see my cursor. It's of no racing consequence. It's just a little bit ugly to look at. I don't know if you can see that little lump outside there. It's cold to touch. Our underbidder on this filly was a very good judge in Mark Johnson, who of course is a vet himself. And we got good advice from the Chase Moore team in perspective that there was x-rays for this filly, and she x-rayed clean. So I don't think it's going to be an issue whatsoever. And I think it was one of the reasons why it's kind of like buying a Ferrari with a scratch. You're getting far too much of a discount, and it can still accelerate at the exact same speed. So look, I think what owner should take a share in this filly? I think perhaps if you're UK based, but even if you're not, I think it's the thinking man's horse. I think it's a filly that's going to give a lot of fun. You can get to go to Manton, one of the great training establishments of the globe, and you can enjoy a horse that I think is just going to keep progressing. And Ollie Sangster showed that already in his training season. Sharari was the New Bay filly was a brilliant example of what he can do with a good filly. We were very keen to support him, and he's delighted. And he's also taking a share in this filly, which shows his belief in her, and hopefully we can all prosper together in 2024. So that's our Study of Man filly. Next up is our Harry Angel filly. This is going to first of all, let me show you. They're trying to ban me. I wanted to show you her brother, because her brother did something very significant. He won. Let me type it in. He won the Coventry Stakes at Royal Ascot. So it'd be great if we could get it up here, but perhaps not. I've spelled it wrong. Bertino Coventry 6. So I don't think that Darley link will work. Let's give it a go one more time. Here we are. So if you see here, Bertino in the white cap in the middle of the pack. Look at him. Power is clear in the biggest 2-year-old race of Royal Ascot, the Coventry. He was a wonderful horse, Bertino. And this is the sister to Bertino. You can see he was second. Not only was he a winner of the Coventry, but he also won the Woodcut, an earlier 2-year-old race. He was second in the Middle Park. He just kept running and winning as a 2-year-old. And this sort of filly is by Harry Angel, a horse we really love. If we go back to Racing Post and we look at the numbers, Harry Angel just had a Group 1 winner at the weekend. He is a sire that I think is very underestimated by the market. You can see by his best RPOs, Al Dassam, Marsham, Stretton Angel, and Tom Kitten. This hasn't updated yet, but this horse just won a Group 1 in Australia. He's also had some very nice fillies, Caddo Bell, Marine Wave, who actually John Burke has the dam of. So it's a sire that I think the market is underestimating. It's a sire that gets early action in early 2-year-olds. So I think this filly will be perfect for Diego. Diego is a bit of a freak of a trainer, to be honest. He was given a team of 5 horses that he raced this year, and amongst that was Marine Munsa, the 10 Sovereigns colt, who was sold to Team Valor for multiple 6 figures, and also a very talented filly in Ganari. Winemaker was a winner for him also this year. So if he is given the goods, Diego knows how to do it, and he's particularly good with early fast horses, and that's what we've got for him, a forward-going, attractive filly. If I was to show you a video of her now. So this is her. They didn't put a video on the website at the time, so I was going to show you here. Press play. Just gives you a sense for her. She has a bit. If I was to quib her physically, hopefully it does play. I would say she has a sprinter's walk. It's not a walk of a middle distance filly. This is a filly with plenty of fast twitch muscles that wants to get on and race over 5, 6, perhaps 7, but I think she'll be best over 5 to 6, much like her brother and her whole family and her sire, Harry Angel. So she's a filly physically that makes sense to me, and that's something very important when I look at a potential prospect for us. We're going to put her in our Syndicate Stock Racing Club, so shares, I believe, are going to be €200, so great value. And one that I think could be supporting an emerging training force right at the start of his career. And a filly that I think will give a lot of fun. We're going to combine her also with a National Hunt horse, so that you'll have both options available to you in the club. So you can have a flat end National Hunt horse, just the way we think we might be able to attract the next generation, facilitate people's Christmas gifts, or indeed just give you an affordable way to get a bit of action this coming season. So this is our Harry Angel filly, a lovely straightforward filly that I thought was tremendous value at the Tats Ireland sale. So next up is, I thought, a gorgeous filly, a filly by Ravens Pass. We can actually see her here. She's in the other WhatsApp video that I saved. This is another we bought this filly with one job in mind, and that was the Goffs 2 million series. Goffs have decided to have a series of sales races next year, not just the one Goffs million, a Goffs million over 7 furlongs, a Goffs 500, which is 500,000, and with over 6 furlongs, and then a series of 10 50-grand bonuses for various maidens. We bought this filly. Johnny Murta immediately took a leg with us and asked could he train her. You can see how beautiful. Look, just pause that video for a second. You can see how beautifully rounded this filly is. Loads of strength, loads of class, and I think one that Johnny loved and thought she was tremendous value. Ravens Pass is a star that we think is very underestimated. If you look here, 8% stakes winners to runners. That's like Lope de Vega. That's almost Dubawi levels. It's a really, really elite number. He was a very good racehorse himself, of course, a very good sire of fillies. He is the sire of Romantic Proposal, that brilliant sprinter for Eddie Lynham. And actually, what's striking as well about him, not only is it the stud record really, really strong, you look here, look at the amount of horses rated over 110. Like, it goes down to the very bottom of the page. But also, if you look at Damsar, he is the Damsar Boat Mishra from Saffron Beach. And that's something that's going to be very powerful for us when we sell this filly, hopefully after having a talented Greer, perhaps reaching stakes level, to sell on to potential breeders. It gives her a high residual value. And she's actually already the half-sister to a stakes horse by Ravens Pass. So a full sister has reached stakes level. It's that filly had a horse this year sell for, I think it was, we'll look it up. I think it was 250,000. I'm usually not wrong, but perhaps I am. Yes, so she had a Saxon Warrior, her first foal sell for 250,000. So that just shows if we can reach that level of performance, what that might be down the road for us. You can see 94, 94, 82. Indeed, her half brother Palaman, he was last seen winning a race at York by 6 lengths. We can see the closing stages here. Like, he won effortlessly. Look at him stretch away there. That's a horse that hopefully can give us an update going into the future. I don't think he can win a race much easier than that, and it hasn't been seen since. So, look, I think a lot of our owners love having horses with Johnny Murtagh. So I think she's going to make a lot of sense for our Johnny Murtagh team. I think she's going to make a lot of sense for people who want to chase that $1 million potential prize or €1 million potential prize. I think she's just a lovely, lovely, elegant filly. Let's go back and kind of finish off our video. You know, she's just got a lot of this. I know I like to point out some flaws with the other fillies, but this is a filly that I just think is one that's going to perhaps let us dine at a table that, her price you wouldn't have expected. I think people underestimate Ravens Pass, and that's why she was a bit of value. So yeah, I'd have to think that she should be on everyone's shopping list. Much like I think all of them, to be honest, have a great potential. Just one more thing I just wanted to highlight was expected stud fees. So this is a very interesting analysis that Tom Wilson, our friend, put together. It tells you if you are above this line, you are above average. And you can see how significantly Ravens Pass performs relative to what his stud fee you would expect to get winners and foals ratio, where he actually performs. He's outperforming stars like Golden Horn, like Autad, like Twilight Sun, Cody Bear, Glen Eagles, Teofilio, showcasing Starspanglebanner, Memas, Ifraj. So Ravens Pass is a proper sire, and he should not be underestimated. In fact, the analysis points to the fact that whereas Ravens Pass, while he stands for an amount of €7,500, these figures are in pounds, not euros, he should stand at an amount of £50,000. That's the expected stud fee if the algorithm was to decide by virtue of the talent that these horses show on the racecourse. Very informative study, and one that we paid attention to when buying our team for 2024. Now, our last horse is probably the one for the Shrewdies. I'll explain why. So this is a far above colt. The dam was immensely speedy, winning a Group 6 furlong Group listed race as a 2-year-old, and actually progressed in its 2-year-old career to come fourth in the Italian Guineas. But then that is not the only thing to recommend, because it goes back to what I would describe as the best Irish family there is, a family nurtured by the Burns family in County Kilkenny, Park Express, the Dam of New Approach, and of course the Dam of Alluring Park, who in recent years has been one of the best broodmares in anywhere in the globe, producing Oaks winner was. There's also a filly there that it was sold, and she doesn't even appear on the page, out of Alluring Park, who was stakes place, that actually sold for £5 million at Tattersalls. This for me is the quintessential great Irish family of wonderful breeders, and I thought this colt was just another. It's interesting. We don't normally buy so many horses that I think will be early. Well, I think the Study of Man will certainly be a later type, but the other parts of the team are all this shape of strength, of size, of a bit of size, and you look at the muscles on this boy. Unusual as well. We bought a colt, but I just felt this was a a lot of value, and it's to go to Tim Dunworth in France. Now, the reason that we are putting this horse in France is very simple. French racing and its prize money levels are ridiculous, and in particular ridiculous for early 2-year-olds. Traditionally, French trainers have not trained their horses to be early 2-year-olds, and if you plan this, there's immense prize money available. Here's a list of 50 grand maidens that are taking place, and they're all taking place at Sean T in the early part of the year. We are training this horse with Tim Dunworth, who will be training the horse in Sean T every day. So these are races what we will be ready to rock in right from the off. But it doesn't end at the €50,000 prize money, because this colt, there's a gorgeous head on him as well. He is French eligible. French premiums eligible. What does that mean? That means every time he runs in one of these 50 grand maidens, he gets 80% extra in terms of prize money. So it goes from a 50 grand race to a 90 grand race. And these aren't stakes races. These are races which will have a limited enough number of runners and are maidens. So they're for races for horses that haven't won before. So this is a tremendous program. In addition to that, the Arcana series he is also eligible for. The Arcana series is a tremendous new sales race series. It won't pop up for me. What's going on with my search? Arcana series. Here we go. So it's open to all yearlings, and you can see again 222,000, 222,000, 350,000, 350,000, and over a variety of distances, 1,200, 1,400. So I would see our colt being the 1,200 candidate, and that's a really, really enticing pie to get stuck into. Tim is a top class trainer. I'm going to show you his stats. So if you look at trainers in France and you pay attention to the numbers, Tim Dunworth really does stand out. Let's have a look. We better put this in English because I won't have an absolute dicky bird what is going on. Oh my God, what is horses and people, trainers. We'll go this way. So Tim won't be operating at the top because he doesn't have the numbers. He'll be about 50th, I think. Let's say he's just here. Yeah, 53rd. So look at this. This is runners. So you can see Jean-Claude Rouget, 582, 155 winners, right? And that is the trainer of Ace Impact. Andre Fab, 558, 133. What you can discern from this is to be an elite trainer, you need to be operating at a rate of about 20%. That's what Fab is at. That's what Rouget is at. If you go down to these next few trainers, they're kind of at 15, 10, even less than 10% in terms of strike rate. But if you come down to Tim, now Tim is not operating with a wide team of horses. We go back to Rouget, 167, Fab, 164, Graffard, 133. If you cut down to Tim here, he has only 42 horses. And now these are anomalies. Carl Burke is a UK-based trainer. 42 horses. Notwithstanding the fact he had 42 horses, Tim last year had a quite incredible 23 winners from 70 runners. So, sorry, he didn't. Tim had, I thought that was too exceptional. Tim had 23 winners from 134 runners. Oh. So with that number, you can see he is really, really punching right there with the best of them. And if you click in further, you might think, okay, 23 winners, but perhaps these are all handicappers. They're not. His best horses are horses that have not run that many times this year. Races, you can see 3, 5, 4, 5, 8. He's got a lot of progressive horses that are going to kick on with next year. I think Tim is going to be a trainer that goes a little bit supersonic. And he's just waiting for the right, having a wide enough team. 42 horses. It's an intimate barn. It's a beautiful barn. He trains in Shanty, right in the centre. And that is the most beautiful place to train a horse in the world. I've been to Ballydoyle. I've lucky enough to be to Ballydoyle. Ballydoyle's incredible, but there's no communal training facility like the Shanty Gallops. It's a privilege to be there. And I think if I was a Shrewdy and I was thinking, okay, I'd like one big trip. I'd like to get a return on my investment the best possible way. And I'd like to race in a jurisdiction which is very rewarding to do so. This is the colt for you. I really think he was great value and is one to get stuck into. You can just see by the picture of him. So look, that is our team. There is no horse I wouldn't recommend. I think they all, we talked, just to summarize them again, our Starspanglebanner filly, Joseph bought in straight away with bidding against us on the filly, is a real sprinter type. We're going to find out early. And I think our record with Starspanglebanner before speaks for itself. So State of Bliss, I know will be exceptionally popular. I don't need to do much of a selling job. I think the Study of Man is a real thinking man's horse. I think it's not an obvious play, but it's a play. When speaking to a lot of our owners, they talked about wanting to take shares in her because they liked the video of her. They really were struck by the way she walked. And I can understand that. If you just recap, like, you can see the real athleticism there. So that Study of Man is also going to be a filly that's, I think, it's going to be particularly popular, especially with our UK owners, given that we only have one new horse in the UK. The Harry Angel filly, it's going to be great to get more people involved in the game through her. And Diego Diaz is a trainer, I think, is going to go right through the gears this year. Everyone loves having a horse with Johnny Murta, and I think we found a perfect horse to do that. And we'll be running for €2 million with her. That's going to be great crack. And God, I wouldn't like to be experiencing the FOMO if we do have a chance in the Goss Million. And finally, our Far Above Colt is one that I think will give early action as well, but also lucrative action with that 80% premium. So that was our summary. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please drop me a message. If you want to reserve shares in any of them, please drop me a message, or John a message, or Amy a message. And hopefully this is a useful canter through the team for 2025. I don't think we've got a better team ever. I think hopefully after this, I've helped convince you of that. And we'll be offering shares now in next week, and hopefully we'll be sold out now very shortly. But we're excited to get stuck into them, and we're excited to bring you all on the journey with us. Thanks, team. Bye.